Okay, so for day 3, first, we're going to make a density column. So each kid at your table is going to be given a different liquid in a cup like this. So right now, just as an example, we're gonna do corn syrup, water, and oil. But we'll have other things, like we'll have honey, we'll have extra virgin olive oil, and we'll have dish soap in there. So it'll be different layers that you can make in this clear cup. So they're going to have these things poured out already. And we're just gonna give you guys a little bit so that you can make little layers instead of having like really big layers. I would not go over a centimeter even if you had more liquid to pour in, just because I think that won't make it look pretty, first of all, and also like I don't think it'll separate really well. So we're gonna have these things and we're gonna give you guys a little bit of food coloring in it, but we won't mix it. So some of the kids will have food coloring to mix in with their stuff. Like food coloring like this. Open this. So the most important part is that they have to pour really slowly, which can be kind of hard for the younger kids. Just try to keep reminding them, pour really slowly, pour really slowly. The other thing is, for things like corn syrup and honey, like things that are really sticky and dense, like dish soap, you don't want them to pour down the side of the cup. So you want to try to encourage them to kind of pour down the middle of the cup. Now, once you get to like water and oil, it's a different story. You actually want them to kind of touch the side and gently pour if they can. But if some of the younger crew members, especially, if they need a little help, you can help them. But I think they'll have more fun if you kind of like let them do their thing. Oh, I have to cut all of these. No? Nope. Sorry. So I'm adding like blue to the water. And you guys don't have to do this like in a particular order. I'm gonna add some red to the corn syrup. And some purple to the oil. I'm just gonna give that a stir. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just have them mix. It's just so they can kind of spend time and they can see like, oh, the thing I have is corn syrup and it's very sticky. And for water, I would encourage that you use blue just because kids kind of tend to think that water is blue, even though it's clear. And then the oil, I hope it mixes. Nope, it doesn't mix it. Okay, so don't add food coloring to the oil. It's not gonna mix in. That's fine, we'll leave it like that. Okay, so the sticky stuff goes down first. So it's gonna be, honey's gonna go in first, and then corn syrup. Corn syrup, have them pour. Okay. And make comments like, oh wow, like the corn syrup is pouring really slowly. This is really thick, right? And then the water, I'm gonna try to pour down the side. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. So you can have them kind of like tilt it. and pour a lot more slowly than I just did. You can't, you might be able to see a little bit of the color. The coloring didn't really mix that well, but it'll look more impressive once you add, like, you know, things that have color to them. The oil you really want to pour slowly. If you pour too quickly into the water, it's gonna mix in. It's just gonna mix in with the water. You don't want it to do that. Have them add it slowly. And hopefully you have these distinct layers that are kind of colored differently. You can kind of see, right now to me, I can see the red on the bottom, and then I can see yellow on the top because I added oil there. And then you're just gonna have them throw in a couple of things. Like we have these corn kernels, and we have plastic beads, and we have paper clips that they can throw in. So you just have one of them added in gently. See which layer they end up being in. So paper clip kind of ends up inside the corn syrup layer. The kernel also, but a little bit higher than that, almost to the water. And then probably plastic bead will like float. Let's see if this like rubber thingy floats. Okay, yeah, so that ends up being in the oil layer. So you'll say like, okay, so today we learned about Naaman, and he was dunked in the water to be healed. Which layer would he have to be, and would he have to have ended up in order for him to be healed, or something like that? And you'll have them kind of look at the density column and throw things in. So that should be good. Hopefully, I'm hoping that you guys have enough time to do the second part, because the second part is really fun for kids. Second part, we're going to make oobleck. Some of you might have made it in the past, but basically when you add equal parts of cornstarch and water and you mix, that mixture, it becomes a non-Newtonian fluid. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. I didn't measure these out. We're gonna have it measured out for you, so you won't have to worry about it. And we'll have enough for each kid to make just a little bit of oobleck. I'll use this one. So it's a little bit hard to mix it, not gonna lie. So just have them kind of like continuously stir it. See, now it's too watery. I made it too watery. So I'm going to add a little more cornstarch. This part ended up being a mess before. Yeah, if you need more cornstarch, just let the station assistants know. We'll keep stirring. And you'll kind of notice as you stir, like it's really hard to stir this mixture together. Oh, there's still too much of a slurry. We'll have these measured out. I would just encourage you to only add little bits of water at a time and not like a whole spoonful like I did. Oh, it's starting to become a little bit harder to mix, so that's good. Basically, the oobleck, once you make it thick, we're laughing because when I first made the video, I spilled the cornstarch all over myself. Okay, so it's starting to become kind of like thick and hard to mix, so just kind of gently stir around. So I'll try it with this one. We're gonna have these like styrofoam bowls for the kids. It's going to be hard for them to mix it. Please help them in that case. Okay. So oobleck is a non-Newtonian fluid, and basically what that means is that when you add pressure to it, like this, when you squeeze it with your hand, and you keep squeezing with your hand, it feels like a solid. You can almost like roll it and turn it into a ball, like this. And then when you kind of let it go, when you let pressure out of it, it turns back into a liquid. So this one's a little too dense, so it feels weird too. So I'm going to do this. Okay. You roll it into a ball and you let it melt. You roll it into a ball. So have the kids kind of roll it fast and see if they can make a heart, right? Because the point of the day is that Jesus has the power to heal. And we have to talk about how he heals not just bodies and how Jesus really heals our heart, right? So have them try to make it. They'll have fun with it. So I'm hoping, we'll get through the density columns fast enough so that they can really play with this. And there's gonna be a mess, so I'm gonna warn you guys earlier than usual so you can start cleaning up. And you can also have your kids kind of like go and wash their hands in turns. But it should be a fun experience for them. So that will be day 3.